book. Hey guys, welcome back to Ni no Kuni. I'm Callie. And today I thought we would do something different. We are going to read the second tale of our book. We didn't get the first tale. This is the second tale. Don't tell me I'm reading it out of order, because guess what? This is the other pages. They're like this. So, we have the second tale. And I'm going to read it to you guys like an idiot. I could just post it, but I thought this would be kind of fun to be told a story. You guys can listen to it when you go to sleep at night, and you'll love me for it. Shut up, you'll like it. Anyway, The Squirrels and the Bramble, Protectors of the Forest. Once upon a time, the whole world was lush and green and covered in countless forests. In the mild days of spring, children would play in their clearings, making necklaces from wildflowers, while in summer they would shelter from the sun under their ancient trees. And in autumn, of course, they would pick and eat their juicy fruits. Indeed, forests have always been important to youngsters, being carefree places in which to play with gay abandon. But what do you know of the forest guardians? Every forest has one. They are believed to be godlike creatures that protect the woods they inhabit, as well as the creatures that dwell within. But how do these guardians come into existence? No human knows for certain, of course, but it is believed that they are somehow selected from amongst the creatures that live in the forest. Naturally, since the guardian is responsible for protecting all the forest inhabitants, the biggest, strongest creature in the forest is usually the one selected. There has, however, been one notable exception, as related in this well-known tale. A proclamation from the deities of the forest. A forest, luxuriant with leaves, was home to a gently flowing river and a spring that produced fresh water, and all the beasts lived there in amity, from tiny insects to creatures as big as 2 men. One day, the deities of the forest made a proclamation. The time has come for you to choose your guardian. For the forest did not have a guardian at the time. As soon as the message was received, a controversy prevailed among the beasts of the forest, with each one claiming that he would make the best guardian. These sharp fangs will frighten away any enemy, growled the black wolf. These huge claws will shred impostors to pieces, roared the gray bear. And it continued, with every large forest animal boasting his own case, from the stag with his great antlers to the white catfish who dwelt in the spring. The forest's smaller inhabitants, those who had no chance of winning any test of strength, could but watch this assembly of the beasts in silence. The bickering continued for several nights, until one day a golden haze descended upon the forest, bringing with it an aroma so sweet that the beasts soon forgot about choosing a guardian, and simply spent the day in a contented daze, staring at the new golden coloring of the trees around them. The very next day, however, crimson saplings from some of the trees quickly grew into a large tangle of red bramble, for the golden haze the beasts had so enjoyed was in fact a cloud of evil-disposed spores. By the time any of them noticed, however, the bramble had covered the entire forest. The bramble. The bramble strangled tree after tree, causing them to wither and die. It seemed only a matter of time before the entire forest would be quite devoid of life. Thus, the wise owl said. However, somewhere in this forest is the tree in which the spores first took root. That tree is the source of this terrible bramble. Cut off its source, and the entire thicket will wilt. Desperate to save their forest, the black wolf and the gray bear resolved to find the tree that the wise owl had mentioned. However, the bramble had grown so thick and so dense that their great bodies simply would not pass through it. It was time for smaller forest creatures to come to the fore, the ones who abstained while the other beasts had bickered and boasted about who was the strongest. And so the molted snake slivered through the bramble, moving deep into the forest in search of the tree where the first spores took root. Alas, the bramble wraps the tree completely, hissed the snake. We shall need to cut through it somehow, but I have neither claws nor teeth, only this forked tongue. Upon hearing the mottled snake's report, to the blue woodpecker leapt The blue woodpecker, it's like a tongue twister, leapt into action. I shall peck through the bramble in no time, he chirped with confidence. But as he neared the tree which the mottled snake had described, the bramble became too thick and was quite unable to spread his wings, let alone fly close enough to peck at the bramble, and thus he went back dejected. That was when the field mouse and the squirrels rendered their assistance. These sturdy front teeth of ours shall gnaw through the bramble, squeaked the field mice. But the bramble goes all the way to the top of the tree, observed the squirrels. Can you climb so high? The field mice had to concede that they could not, and so it was the squirrels who set off to cut through the bramble that surrounded the tree that had been the first to succumb. The squirrels soon reached the tree and scaled it with ease. In no time at all, they were nibbling at the bramble and making light work of cutting through it. No sooner had they begun to chew their way through the bramble than large parts of the thicket that covered the forest fell away and withered. And so the squirrels decided to continue nibbling until the tree was completely free of the bramble. Alas, the bramble contained poison spores, and the squirrels who swallowed them soon felt the effects and fell lifeless to the forest floor. And yet this did not determine the other brave squirrels, who resolved to rid the tree of the bramble and save the forest at any cost, and each of them continued to chew. The moment the last of the bramble was cut, the entire tangle withered away. The last remaining squirrel fell from the tree, dashing its head upon the ground. The squirrels had saved the forest. When the black wolf and the gray bear were finally able to wade through the dead bramble, they came across the bodies of the dead squirrels and let out terrifying cries. The guardian. As the animals' cries rang out, the squirrels' souls floated from their bodies as pure orbs of light. The black wolf and the gray bear watched in amazement as the orbs floated into a hollow in the tree, bringing it back to life. The deities of the forest had spoken. The squirrels were the forest's true guardians. Though they were among the smallest and the weakest of the beasts, their courage was greater than all the largest creatures. Size has no bearing on a creature's stature. And that's our story for the day. I'm sorry if I messed up some of the words. I tried my best, mostly when you're thirsty. So I will be reading these stories, and that was Tale 2.